Alright, welcome to another Put the Power Down video. In today's video, we are in the 2017 Ford Raptor. Now, starting off with the outward appearance of the Raptor, I can definitely tell you that Ford did it yet again. Compared to the first generation of the Raptor, you look at the outside of this generation, I mean, they just look absolutely menacing, especially in the color black that this truck in particular is in. I mean, with the front end, as far as you have the 3 amber lights, it's the previous generation, just because this truck is required to have that because of its overall width. The headlights and just everything that really goes into the outward appearance of this truck, I think is very nice and aggressive. It's just very mean, especially like I said in the other Raptor review that I actually did last week. Compared to a regular F-150 or just any other truck on the road, this truck is just really stands out from the rest with everything as far as the wider body that this thing has. I mean, I just think it all flows very nice. You have these huge hunches that everyone just really wants in the truck. Of course, you have the tailgate that says Ford on it. So then you have the Raptor, which kind of looks like someone kind of like wrote Raptor and then just kind of tore it up a little. And I just think the design of that was really cool. And of course, like the previous generation Raptor, if you go towards the back of this truck, you can open up the tailgate. Now, the difference between the tailgate and this Raptor and the 2014 that I had last week, Ford has integrated a system that allows the tailgate to fall very nicely and slowly. It's not really even a heavy tailgate to begin with, but this tailgate falls very nicely and slowly for you to get into the vehicle. Of course, you have your nice step back there. All you have to do is pull out the handle first, pull down the step, just hop right in, and then you'll be in the bed of the truck very fast and easy. And also back there, you also have an extended bed gate that allows you to basically have the tailgate down. And a lot of times you see people buy this at like AutoZone or something like that, but this truck actually comes with this from the factory. Now, moving on into the interior of the 2017 Raptor, Ford did it yet again. I mean, this thing has so much space in here. It's ridiculous how much space I have right now just sitting in this truck. Of course, power seats. Now, these seats also feel very nice. And of course, now this truck is used for off-roading and also meant to be a daily driver. And the bolstering, you know, I think is probably, it's decent. I can see it holding me in, especially if I'm doing some type of, you know, off-roading out in the desert or something like that. You know, I mean, it's not, it could have a little bit more support, but, you know, it's not going to be on a track like you would have a Mustang GT or something like that. It's not going to, of course, the seats don't really have to hold you in that much. So I think it's kind of a perfect balance between holding you and nice to definitely relax and sit and be comfortable in this truck. Also, these seats are heated and cooled. I'm actually using the cooled seats right now because it is a pretty hot day out. And I can tell you that they work really nice. I mean, if you're like me, especially in the summertime, if anything, my back gets hot when I get in the car just because, you know, you have the air blowing from the regular air vents and everything, and that's fine. But my back is where, I guess, all that heat builds up. And so having cooled seats, and in my opinion, is honestly nicer than having heated seats because, you know, I've never really been someone who really needs heated seats, but definitely cooled seats is something I'd say is something I need or really would like to have in my car. Moving on to the 2017 Ford Raptor steering wheel, I think it is very nice, very big, nice, beefy notches here at 10 and 2. Very nice to grab onto. I mean, like if you are off-roading, just making fast maneuvers and need to grab the wheel real quick, I mean, you can really, it's not like you're going to miss it or anything. You got it right here. You're going to be able to grab it. Of course, you have the red line in the middle of the steering wheel to let you know exactly when the steering wheel is pointed as straight as it can be. And then, of course, behind the steering wheel, you have this very nice, beautiful gauge cluster. I mean, and the screen that is right here between the RPMs and the miles per hour is ginormous. I mean, and it displays everything from, of course, fuel economy to your trip history, your navigation compass. You can also change your settings, the truck settings, and then you have the digital speedometer, which I think is really nice. That way, I mean, even though you have your speedometer right there, your analog speedometer, you still have your digital one right here. You have your trailer towing status, and I'll get to how this truck is ready to tow in a second. But you have all these things, and then off-road mode, and then Raptor status. And like I mentioned in the previous review, that this truck will sense what type of terrain the truck is on, and the computers will give you that information, because a lot of times you see some people might be doing rock crawling or something like that, and they have buddies outside trying to tell them go to a little to the left and to a little to the right. But this truck actually communicates that to you just by going off what the ground is telling it by its built-in computers, which I think is really cool and really nice, especially if you might be somewhere out where you don't really want someone to get out, just in case there's, you know, might be a dangerous terrain or something like that. This is very nice that the truck gives you all the information. And of course, in the interior of the Raptor, you have your very nice Sync 3 system. Ford redeveloped the Sync 3 system to basically be very simple, very fast and responsive, and I think they nailed it. I mean, I can just literally touch everything, and it goes right to it. You have navigation, phone, climate here. You can control, of course, your fan speed under climate settings. You once you go actually into the settings, you can set up your sync, so I can connect my phone, and I think sync is also a very nice system. And then you can go to ambient lighting. You can change all the colors that you have in here, so I can go from ice blue to orange, soft blue, red, green, blue, purple, and all that. And ambient lighting is basically lighting that's you see at night, and it'll be in where your feet are, down by the pedals, where you're gonna put your hand in to open up the door, and then also in the cup holders. And I think that's just a really nice touch, and I like how you can actually change that color, because it allows you kind of to personalize the interior of a truck, which I think is really nice. And the cameras that are on this truck, I mean, are ridiculous. Of course, you have your standard backup camera, but then you also have a camera in the front. You also have a camera that gives you a 360 view. And you know, when I first put it in reverse and I started looking at it, I just thought it was ridiculous how the truck actually gives you this crazy view. And I'm looking at it now, it's telling me how I'm in this parking spot and exactly where I should go and all this other stuff. And I just think that's really, really nice how the truck has this ability to give you an idea just from the driver's point of view. Even though this truck is very nice and wide, and it's kind of hard to see over the hood, and you can't really see out the back, this truck has a ton of cameras and a ton of visibility that allows you to see what's going on around you, which is very nice for if you're doing off-roading. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and take this truck on the road, and I'll let you know how the 2017 Raptor feels on the road, because a lot of people might think that this is too much truck for them. You know, they can't really see out the front, not the back. And I'll give you guys my perspective on how I think this car drives and how the truck shifts, as far as you have these nice shifters here, and you also can select shift right here on your little rocker with the gear selector. So I'll let you guys know how that feels, because it's a truck that is equipped with a 10-speed automatic transmission. So I will definitely let you guys know how that shifts as far as compared to the 2014. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is turn on the truck and let's get on the road. And like last time, you still have this very nice built Ford Tough logo that just smashes into the ground, and the truck just starts right up. Alright, so I am in the 2017 Ford Raptor. I have the truck in manual mode, so now we're going to go ahead and figure out how this 10-speed automatic feels. Jeez, alright, that was really quick actually. So you definitely get up to speed in this truck very fast. We have 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. And this truck feels very nice. I am currently using these shifters like I just said. I am in the manual mode, and you can also use your little rocker that you have here on the side of the shifter. And this truck is very nice and smooth. These shifts are actually pretty aggressive. Like I shifted in, I don't know if you guys saw, but I kind of like bounced a little, because along with the suspension, the way this thing shifts is pretty hard actually. And you know, this transmission is actually in the new Camaro Z01, because like I said, this transmission was co-developed with General Motors, who owns Chevy. And I mean, I can definitely tell you that when Ford and GM worked together, they definitely did put out a great transmission. I mean, I can downshift here with the paddles really easy. And it's not like, and I'm actually looking at the RPMs, and you would think 10-speed automatic, so you would have all these weird points of shift, but no, you can still shift like normal, and it still feels great. I'm in 5th gear right now, about to drop down to 3rd, dropping down. Now I'm in 2nd, put my foot down. Jeez, as soon as you let off too, that is nice. And you can go up to, let's see, I can go up to 8th gear right now, and I'm still, like, the truck is now quiet again. Now one thing I will say about this truck, the exhaust note of it could be a little better, and now this is where you get into the V6. Doesn't sound as good as the V8, and you know, of course it doesn't. I mean, up front, I had the Raptor last week, and I can tell you that driving this week, you had a better, nicer, deeper rumble up front, and definitely a better exhaust note in the back. And it's not like this V6 sounds horrible. A lot of people make it sound like V6s are just horrible, and this and that, but this truck still sounds pretty dang good, especially for what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and give it another acceleration run here. So you definitely get up to speed, like I said, pretty dang quick. That torque, you can definitely feel the torque, and you do get a nice little turbo sound from the exhaust. Not too much, I wish it was more. And of course you can add an aftermarket exhaust. I'm pretty sure there's already plenty out, especially with people like Borla and stuff like that. I'm going to pop the truck back into drive mode here and just cruise and let you guys know how this feels. But I mean, this is definitely a really nice truck. I mean, sitting in it right now, I can tell you that I do feel like this truck is probably a little bit teenier, harder to manage than the 2014 Raptor, but it's still not like I'm like driving like this. You know, I can still manage the vehicle pretty nice. You know, what I'm saying is I can definitely tell that this is a wider and bigger truck. You also have some features like lane keep assist, like here, if I try and go into this lane, it just beeped at me a little and let me know that I was going into the oncoming lane of traffic. So, you know, this truck definitely helps the driver out in that aspect. Another thing to note here, that gas mileage is supposed to be a little bit, like a little bit better than the previous generation Raptor with the 6.2 liter V8. Right now I am currently getting 10.9 miles to the gallon. That is, of course, I just got on it a little back there, so the turbos and everything just kind of drank up some gas right there. But you know, gas mileage still is not the best in this truck. So, you know, if that's the one thing that you were thinking about buying this truck or consider getting into a truck like this, you know, you gotta consider that. But I still think that is probably the only downside of having a truck like this, especially with all the things I talked about earlier, with the interior, with the way this thing is ready to go out and drive. I mean, it is just an incredible truck. I'm still using the cooled seats right now, and I feel nice and chilled. I don't even have any of the other air conditioning systems on. Literally, that's all I really need, is just really cooled seats, and I still feel great in this truck. I'm driving this truck, like I said, commanding view of the road. I see everything, everyone sees me, and this truck looks so menacing. Like I said earlier when I was talking about the outward appearance, this truck looks so good from the outside, just coming up with the way everything just flows, the body lines. I mean, it just looks so mean and big. I'm go ahead and go into manual mode here. I'm actually in 10th gear at about 45 miles an hour. You can drop down to 9th gear and really it didn't even move. The needle for the RPMs didn't even move. Go down to 8th. I think like the way this thing downshifts too, I mean, it's pretty nice. Especially I talked about the responsiveness of the 2014 Raptor, and compared to this, I mean, it just miles and miles ahead of it. I mean, let's go ahead and go down to 3rd, put our foot down, and definitely gets up and goes, man. This is definitely a nice and quick, fast truck. And I'm taking some turns here in the Raptor, and I can tell you that honestly, that was not as much body roll as you would expect. Now, you did feel the truck. I did feel the truck sink a little, and of course, it's a sports car, but you know, you can actually, this thing actually does, you know, take the turns well and nice. I mean, it's not, of course, now a Mustang or something like that, my Mustang personally would be faster, and I would feel more confident in the turn, but I don't feel like I'm about to flip the vehicle or anything like that. This thing definitely handles its own. Another thing I actually forgot to mention about the truck when I was talking about the interior is this very nice glass roof that is above me. It actually can open up here. The first half can open up, and you can slide a cover up if you don't want the glass or the sun shining on you like that. But I like it. I just open it. I'm going to go ahead and shut it here. But just a really nice truck, really nice package. I'm going to go ahead and take another turn here. See how it feels. Okay, yeah, I definitely felt the body roll there now. But like I said, this is definitely a nice truck, and I'm doing about what you'd want to do in your average car. It's not like you have to drive slower because of this truck. So definitely a nice truck to have. And we're gonna go ahead and do one more last loop acceleration here, just for the heck of it. This 10-speed auto, man, great stuff. The way this truck goes is just awesome. You feel all that torque and all that horsepower. Definitely can tell you that this engine is making some noise. And actually, when you do get on it, you get some nice induction out. Now, it's still not as good as the V8, what I mentioned earlier, but still a very nice truck to drive. So wrapping up my time with the 2017 Ford Raptor, guys, I can tell you that this is definitely an amazing truck that you should get into if you have the ability to, or just go on a ride or do something in this truck. If you have the chance just to even sit in this truck, I suggest doing it, because this is definitely a nice truck. The way it drives, the way it handles. I'm taking another turn here, and it still feels great in this truck. I mean, it is just absolutely awesome in this truck. So, like I said, I think this is a great truck. If you would like to find out more about this particular truck that I'm driving actually right now, you can head over to Capital Ford here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They're great guys, great people. They can help you out with financing, pricing, and all that good stuff. As always, like, subscribe, comment if you like the video. For more reviews, hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys in another video. Be safe and be holy.